But the true test of happiness comes when you try it. It's good. Sugar-free. Sugar-free, good smoked beef jerky. Great. Good stuff. Love it. Do it. Make it. You can do it. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Carnivore Brothers. Today I'm going to be doing one of my favorites. And on the carnivore diet, we have very limited options when you go to the store and you try to get beef jerky. So today I'm going to show you what I do to cut, prepare, smoke my own beef jerky. It's been a favorite so far for me, and my family enjoys it. And it's not the same taste as what you get in the stores because you're not marinating it in a bunch of sugars and other things that are in the beef jerky that you buy in stores, but it's delicious and absolutely works for us. We love it. So when you get beef jerky, you want to start out with a lean cut of meat. This is the eye of round. This one here is I bought from Costco, and let's see, it was $4.89 a pound. It's about 6 pounds of meat. These are giant eye of rounds. But one of the first things you want to do is because beef jerky is going to smoke and really smoke a lot of the moisture out, you actually want to trim it up a little bit and get rid of a little bit of this back fat layer right here. So I'm going to do that first, trim that off. It's not too much on there, but I'm going to trim that off. And then I'm going to use my slicer here to slice it up, get some nice good thin slices. We'll lay it out on the racks we have prepared and season it up. I'll show you that in a minute. Right now I'm going to get the fat off. All right, so on this eye of ribeye, or eye of round, I mean, it's not a ribeye, eye of round, this is just got a thin layer, and I hate to pull off any of the fat because we carnivores love to have and need to have our fats. However, for beef jerky, the fat doesn't do well, it keeps too much moisture, and so it doesn't, when you go to smoke it low and slow like that, it tends to have a harder time with the fats on there. You want it as lean as possible. That's why we choose the eye of round. And again, this is a pretty inexpensive cut, which is great. So you can make quite a bit of beef jerky. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going to worry about getting it perfect, but all the bigger pieces I want to make sure I get off. I went ahead and prepared my countertops a little bit just because this it's got can have a lot of raw meat out on it, which is just fine. But for cleanup purposes, I don't know if you can see the sheen on here, but I like to put a little bit of plastic wrap down on there. Makes it nice and easy for my surfaces when I get going. And what we're going to do, if you don't have a slicer, you can absolutely slice this. If you have a good sharp knife, you can absolutely slice this individually. And it does take a little bit more time to do it that way. But what you're looking for is just a nice thin slice that you have there. And we'll use that later on. We'll season that up and we'll use that on our smoker. I've got this slicer off of my Facebook neighborhood page. Happened to pick this up. I think it was $60. You can get them relatively inexpensively. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a lot of slicing, then you'll want to probably invest in something a little bit nicer. So, but this gets things done for the most part. I'm not sure how the audio is going to work when I turn this on. It gets a little loud. If not, I'll record over top of this and add in some commentary over top of this. But here we go. I'm looking for a nice thin slice. And that's probably a little too thin. This is just falling apart on me. So I'm actually going to adjust this. I call that my test slice. And that right there is about the size, the thickness that I want. That's just perfect. So I'm just going to start slicing away and get this one sliced up. And then we'll show you how to lay them out on the racks that I find is easiest and get them seasoned. Okay, I went ahead and sliced up both of those eye of rounds, and I've got some more to do. I'm going to do a big batch this time. But right now I'm just laying them out on a rack. I like to put them on racks just for transportation sake. It's easier getting them to and from the smoker. And also when I'm seasoning it, I can season it real easy, which I'll show you in a moment on how I go about seasoning. I smoke my jerky, or really everything, on my Traeger smoker. I absolutely love the Traeger. I got a Traeger about 6 years ago for another small piece. There we go, like that. I got a Traeger about 6 years ago. Absolutely love the Traeger grills. Okay, I'm going to come back to my Traeger story. I realized it's time to season. I want to show you what I'm doing with the seasoning. More about my Traeger experience here in just a little bit. So we have a couple of things, of course, for the carnivore purists. Just using salt. Or if you're on the lion diet, highly recommend Redmond's real salt. This is excellent. This is what we'll be using to help season the beef jerky, and you can go just with that. I love that peppery flavor on jerky. The smoky peppery combination is great. So I've got some coarse black pepper that I'm going to use, as well as a little bit of granulated garlic, and I'm going to put that over the beef jerky as well to season it up before I put it on the smoker. I'm going to season both sides. I'll show you that, and it'll be delicious. Now, the other thing you can use, and I'm a big fan, if you haven't seen Meat Church, his channel on YouTube, I learned a lot of my smoking techniques from him, and I subscribe to a couple of his seasonings that I love. This one here is Holy Cow, and the reason I like it is pretty clean. There's no sugar in this one. There's no sugar in his Holy Cow or his fajita seasoning. So those of y'all and those of us who are wanting to stay away from sugar, these are great seasonings. They do clump up a bit because there's nothing extra in there, anti-clumping or anything other chemicals that are in there to keep it. It's just purely salt, spice, dehydrated garlic, and spice extracts. And there's no MSG as well. So Holy Cow, it's a good one. I like to use this on a lot of my meats that I'm smoking as well. But for today, I'm just going with the garlic, the pepper, and the salt. Okay, time to season. We're going with the cracked black pepper first. It's the biggest of the flakes, so I like to put it on first so it can hold. And you want to be, last time I did it, I got some feedback from my parents who, and myself included, it was too peppery. These are, you can get too much pepper on there. It gets a little hot, but I like the peppery flavor, so I'm not going to go as heavy as I did last time, but I'm still going pretty heavy with the pepper because that's one of my favorite flavors on the beef jerky. That's just my personal preference. And for those who can't handle the pepper, and you've worked through some of that with the carnivore diet where you've eliminated the pepper, then this is not for you. You don't have to do that. Just the salt is fine. But this is the way I like it, and it works really well for me. And my daughter Kendall and my wife Alexis, they love the jerky this way too. So we're going to do that. I'm going to be feeding this to all of us and to my parents, who every time I make this, I got to make a batch for them as well now. So that's about how much pepper. Before I flip it over, we're going to add the salt, and I'm using the, as I said before, got the Redmond's Real, and we're going to just, this one's the finer granulars. I go a little extra salty on this as well. We need our salt, and we'll put that on all of them. Hopefully the camera's picking that up and you guys can see that. Back to my Traeger story. So I bought a Traeger about 6 years ago that I just started learning on and loved the Traeger grill. Learned I smoked brisket, I smoked ribs, I smoked, you name it. I've smoked. The turkeys are amazing. This jerky is amazing. Just turns out a tremendous product. So I was fortunate last year to have a guy here on our Facebook group that is a reseller for products when they get sent back from Home Depot. I'm going to add the garlic as well. And oh, that's a little much. Not going to add that much on every piece. But when he gets big products in from Home Depot that there's a return item for some reason, he gets a discounted rate and is able to resell them because they're too heavy to ship back. So he posted a Traeger Timberline XL, which is an amazing grill smoker, and I was fortunate to be able to get that from him, and it was new in the box. I put everything together myself. It's worked beautifully, but had one little error on it that so I had Traeger's customer service is fantastic. They took care of it, but I was out when I started this YouTube channel. I was out of I didn't have my Traeger going at the time. So now that I've got it back, y'all are gonna see some more cooking videos because I'm gonna teach what I've learned over the years. Again, a lot of it from YouTube University. Now we're gonna flip each one of these pieces so I can season the other side here. But what I've learned on YouTube University has been amazing and helpful for me. And then I just go out and do it. And I've learned a little bit every time I do it, learn a few tips, tricks. And so now I'm sharing that with y'all. Again, I'm not the expert, but I can do it. I've shared this with my family. They all tend to love it. It works for us. And so we're going to go through several recipes and several things that we've learned on the Carnivore Brothers channel to help y'all out as well, as you just need a little bit of variety, a little bit of differences in some of the things that you cook. This is some great ways to do it. So you're going to love this beef jerky. All right, I got everything flipped and I'm going to get the other side seasoned up. This is the black pepper first again, and maybe dating myself a little bit, but that's okay because I don't mind. I'm 47 years young and I feel like I'm in my 30s thanks to the carnivore diet. I feel fantastic. And yes, I'm 47 years old, but one of the shows I used to love to watch and learn to cook on was Emeril Lagasse, and he used to say he hates one-sided tasting food, so you got to season both sides. So I'm seasoning both sides here. We'll get this done. I got my grill preheating right now. It's going to 225, and we're going to cook this at 225 and smoke this for a couple of hours until it's ready. But once I get this seasoned up, we'll take it to the grill and show you what that looks like, and we'll get it smoking. Okay, both sides are seasoned. It does look a little heavy on the pepper. This one may be peppery again, but again, that's the way I like it. Hopefully it's not too peppery for my parents this time again, but hey, if it is, we'll go a little lighter next time. All right, we're about to go to the grill. All right, the Traeger is all temped out at 225. Got my meat rack ready to go. It's a little challenging to do with one hand, but I'll show you guys here. Let's flip this around. As I said, since I've got this back, I've been smoking a ton of stuff on it, cooking a lot. So the reason I like these grill grates, it makes it really nice and easy to put on and off like that. I'll put my second one up here in a second and close her down and let her go for about an hour before I come out and flip these pieces. All right, we are looking good. Just wanted to show y'all, I have flipped this once and I've got a few of them that are getting a little bit overdone there, so I definitely need to pull some of them off. What you're looking for to find out if they're done, if you take these and you bend it and you see how it's got that white crinkle in there, that's when you know they're pretty good and done. Of course, whoops, I'm trying to do it with one hand. It's still hot. But that's got some good bend to it, where it's not quite falling apart, it's not cracking, it's not breaking. See that right there, and you get kind of the easy clear lines there where you kind of cracks. We're looking really good there. So I'm probably going to pull these off really quick. I'm going to leave the top racks on a little bit longer, as it takes just a little bit long. It's hotter on the bottom, so these are definitely more done. I'm going to pull those off, and of course the cook gets a taste test as well, so we definitely want a taste test. All right, after taking them off, I like to let them rest. Prefer to let them rest on a wire rack so that they get some airflow underneath it. But I'll let them cool down a little bit, and then I'm gonna throw them into a Ziploc bag, throw them in the fridge for storage. But gotta taste one of these and make sure it's all right. I was worried about the pepper. It doesn't look too bad. This one here is done just about perfect, I think. Some of these got a little bit overdone, and you can tell on that bottom rack it's a little bit too crispy. See how it just kind of falls apart there? So I've got a couple of them that I let overcook a little bit, but most of them are perfect, and we've still got a couple of racks in there that I'm waiting to come out. But overall, pretty good, happy with those. But the true test of happiness comes when you try it. It's good, sugar-free, sugar-free, good smoked beef jerky. Great, good stuff, love it. Do it, make it, you can do it.